Well, there's just so much to process, and I feel like it's just been as crazy in the country with the racial division and more horrifying news at the same time that we've got hurricanes and tragedies. And um, with all of that in mind, and since we missed the past couple of weeks, well, it's been like 2 weeks, I guess, since we've seen each other. Um, Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and do kind of a take on a activity I teach called bottled up emotions. And so I would be really interested today to hear some of the anti-racist homework that I know y'all often already are doing. Many of you are, have your ears to the news as far as what the big topics are, what are even less big, national headlines, but still important anti-racist conversations and updates that are happening. I thought we could kind of list those out together, and then this bottled up emotions activity, you actually are going to draw a little like pot or a bottle and just kind of express using color, line work, drawing, whatever feels appropriate for you, just to get out all the stuff on the page. So how you feel about that particular subject. But the first step is just going to be like, maybe we could go around. I'm going to make a little list. And what are some of the anti-racist or just straight up racist issues that we have going on in the country that have been on your mind in the past couple of weeks? I'm going to be writing this down. So, I mean, the one that is, I'm sure, on everyone's mind is Jacob Blake. That's going to be my contribution. How are y'all feeling on that? What have you heard? What's going on in your mind?
There's so much anger surrounding him being shot in the back. There's so much disgust, and I'm, like the words that come up are horrified, disgust, anger. Is that what you want? You want our emotions?
Yeah.
Those are mine.
Yeah.
I can feel myself. I mean, I feel terrible about that, but I feel even worse about if worse, maybe, I don't know, but about the glorification of Kyle Rittenhouse as if this murderer, an actual murderer, is the hero.
And Kyle Rittenhouse, is that the police officer?
No, he's the 17-year-old with an illegal gun who came to another town. He's not from Kenosha, to protect, in quotes, people, and shot dead 2 people, injured another. So I guess my emotion there is outrage that he's being praised and held up as a hero.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's also disbelief. I mean, I have disbelief that this is happening in my country, in my America. I never would have thought.
That's true at one level, but boy, as I'm reading Stamped from the Beginning, the roots of these attitudes are there from the beginning. I mean, it's, Black people, this is another outrage. Black people can't win. If they advance, then they're too uppity and have to be put down. And if they don't advance, they're lazy, blah, 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 good for nothings.
So Carol, can I ask you a question about reading? There's part of me that wants to read these books and learn more, and there's part of me that just, I feel like, oh my God, I have enough just listening to what's going on in the world now that I don't want to read about hundreds of years of it happening. And so I'm conflicted.
I can understand that totally, Judith. I mean, for me, reading has been a way to get deeper into what's happening today. I had read Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist, and that's so online. I mean, that's really present time, although he does a bit of history. So my respect for him led me to take on his fat tome stamped from the beginning and get into the background of what's happening today. And I found it's a page turner. I mean, I'll have to read it again to absorb more, because it's just one thing after another.
Yeah, what I found is it can be so confusing and sad. I mean, just heartbreaking. Um, Keeping up to date with everything, and to read about how and why things have shaped up this way makes it a little bit more understandable, not acceptable, but you start to piece together what pattern like brought us to where we are now. And I think even though it is uncomfortable, and for sure there are days that I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna listen to an audiobook about something completely different because it's too much today. But I do feel like there's got to be a responsibility so we don't keep repeating the same history, that humanity is just stuck in this pattern that is so ugly.
Well, my book club chose a book very unlike us. We're reading Girl, Woman, Other.
Oh, I saw that. How is that?
So I'm fascinated by it. I'm only into, maybe 70 pages, but it's fascinating. And it's written in a style, not stream of consciousness, but it's not full sentences, and it's very lyrical in many ways. Like you really feel inside. So it's a book about 12 women in London whose lives do intersect, I gather, but I don't know all the intersections yet. And I gather they're all or mostly African American. Not Africa, sorry, Black.
Black.
Because they're in England. And it's told like from what's in their minds.
Like
how they're thinking about things and processing things.
Consciousness kind of.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Cool. Yeah. And I think, that's the kind of thing that I'm also interested in, is like, what is the experience like outside of my experience? And that's something that's been the wake up call for this whole, like, what does it even mean? Like, oh, I've got white privilege. Like, what does it mean not to have that? Or how is it that such a big proportion of the people in our country have a completely different experience of being American? So that one I'll put on my list. I got 2 good ones now. Thank you.
I have a dear friend in London, and she's very savvy about what's happening in our country too. And she said, it's not that people there aren't racist. I mean, although London is probably at this point the biggest melting pot on the planet, but the police aren't armed to the teeth.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So what happens with the racism is not what we're getting in our country. So that militarization of the police, that's another.
And that is very uniquely American.
Yeah.
If you look back in the history of how the police force developed and why.
Yeah. It's interesting. I have a good friend in London also, and he warned me 4 years ago about the anti-Semitism coming here, the revival of the anti-Semitism. And he said, you're being so naive over there, you have no idea. And he was right.
Wow. I can't believe we're still, that's the thing, disbelief, that's the one that keeps popping up for me. Since I haven't spoken yet, do you have any specific issues or feelings around anything?
I mean, it may seem a little out of place, but I'm super hopeful because all of this, bringing all this to light, social injustice and, what has been so intensely rooted in our society. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a huge, painful growing process for our country, but I'm very hopeful that through conflict there will be resolution. And so, these really intense moments, I just have to hope.
Yeah.
I just have to hope that there
Well
will
said.
be better.
Yeah. I said to my brother yesterday as we were driving out here, I wish I would be alive 50 years from now to
Right.
to see what came out of this and to read history and how it talks about not only Trump but the whole Black Lives Matter and what did we do with it all? And obviously, I won't be here 50 years from now, but I'd like to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
like what Zachary said. Being hopeful is also really important.
Because then, if we don't have that sense of positive outcome, then it makes it a little bit more difficult to face the atrocities.
Yeah, absolutely.
yes, I'm nodding.
So let me go ahead and introduce the artistic part of today, and it's a little bit more freewheeling. We're going to be trying to illustrate some of these emotions. So very open-ended. Let me share my screen real quick and show y'all this. So here's an example of some emotions. Zach knows me well. I'm really good at bottling up my emotions, so I always really like this one. So here you can see little bottles, and I like this style, but I'll show y'all a couple different types of bottles. And I recommended bringing some sort of color medium today because that really is more psychological with emotions, more so than line work most often, but line work can also be used. But you can see here we've got affectionate, kind, caring, helpful, happy. Reliable is out of stock. Sure. I think this was like this must have been about like finding the perfect mate or something, because there's no reliability is out of stock, but the horny is totally full. So, and then here's another one, a little more simple bottle. Goofy, happiness, anger, calm, anxious, bubbly, naughty, mean, annoyed. And these are a lot simpler in the colors as well as the bottle drawing. But, you start getting the idea. And then I thought I can keep some different types of bottles up. Ooh, look at these bottles. For us to draw from if you like. Although these might be a little too complicated.
So the suggestion is that each emotion is in a different bottle?
Yeah. Or what you could do is even potentially draw a bottle and label it, maybe something like, oh gosh, this is a plastic bottle. That's so funny. I'm like, I want to avoid plastic even in my drawings. But you could put a label on your bottle like this and potentially put the name of a situation in there. So it could be shot in the back or Jacob Blake, or you could write something like police violence. It's up to you if you'd rather do a specific event or something that's really maybe you have mixed emotions about, or if you'd like to put some of the different emotions you're feeling in separate bottles.
So what about the ones that are bursting out of the bottles? Can we have them like outrage, I feel like, is bursting out of the bottle. So can I make my bottle and then have the stuff flying?
Absolutely,
That's
Carol.
exactly what I pictured, Carol. Exactly.
Yeah, the cork.
Only I don't know what to do with hopeful.
I think that's going to be like the picture over here we saw where there's just a teeny tiny little bit left in the bottle. But
I was thinking of two bottles, one really big with all these other things coming out and one little small bottle next to it.
Yeah, like this bottle's just really
homeopathic dose. A homeopathic dose.
What it reminds me of is Pandora's box.
Yes.
And all of the awful, terrible things that curse the world flew out, and at the very bottom, just teeny tiny, was a little bit of hope, and that was the only good thing.
The only problem with that story is it's totally sexist.
Right.
The only problem.
all the male gods are just going to put all the blame on this woman for opening the box.
Yeah, we've got
Give
Eve,
women the box.
Dora, who else?
Would you like me to put up a specific set of bottles for you to draw from?
No.
I've got bottles in my art room too.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Just for future, in case anybody's watching the replay and they want some good bottles to draw from, I'm going to pop up
Oh yeah, definitely.
this. And of course, if you prefer the simple version, I would recommend something like this, which is just a very simple kind of.
The idea of a cork, you know, popping your cork. I mean, the cork is a very archetypal bottle stopper.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. So when I've done this in the past, I just kind of drew in pencil first so that I could come back later with pen and make sure all my bottles looked like they were sitting on the same little shelf, because I like to be.
All right, so I didn't, all I have is a pencil and 2 magic markers, so I'm just gonna draw now, but when I get home, I'll draw again.
Awesome. How long are you on Fire Island for?
I guess the holiday is Monday, so probably Tuesday, late Tuesday or Wednesday. It's so funny. I keep getting these pop-ups from Facebook of a year ago when I was in China.
Wow.
I sent one of them to my China group, which is also, some of them are going, if we ever get there, to Japan with me. And I said, you know, it's amazing that right now, going 2 or 3 hours from New York is like a big, big trip.
Right. Did you drive up, Judith?
And my brother came and picked me up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the
Transit.
the train and the jitney, but then we had to get on the ferry to get here because it's an island, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's beautiful. I'll send you some pictures afterwards.
Wonderful. Do some drawing for you up there.
Zach, what else goes with hopeful? I want to do the hopeful part first.
What else goes with hope? Do you mean like positive words, or I mean,
Yeah,
there's
what else comes to mind with hopeful? Or is that it?
determined.
Ooh, determined.
Oh, I like that.
Determined. Hope, determination.
John Lewis's phrase, never give up.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, sometimes when I feel gloomy, and I mean, I've fought so little, I just have to remember his words.
Mm-hmm. I just started reading, and this is kind of to get my mind off of things, but it's actually been really inspiring, the Alexander Hamilton biography.
I hear it's good.
Oh, it's so good. And his story is one that is very inspiring for these times. You know, he's an immigrant. There's a little bit of debate as to whether or not he would have had that one drop of black, you know, background blood that would have been socially challenging at the time. But just what he accomplished and how he had this vision for the country and what a strong abolitionist he was, it's been like, ooh, very inspiring.
He was also anti-immigrant, though, even though he was one himself.
Was he? Dang it.
Dang, yeah.
All the family fathers.
Unfortunately, I mean, he was amazing. My husband and I listened to the audio of that
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
that biography. And of course, the show is amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And the show is totally pro-immigrant, pro-multicultural, pro-whatever nuances Hamilton himself had. So that's the important thing for our time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great that so many kids love that show and know the words to all the songs. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, oh, I don't know.
It's another form of art that
Yeah.
is really shaping people's minds and hearts, and hopefully gonna have a good future in that 50 years.
Oh, by the way, there was yesterday on there's a local channel that called New York One, and they were showing that there's a new mural project in New York where they're going to all the murals that are already up, and they are putting a mask on the face of each, like if it's George Floyd or whatever, but instead of painting over it, they're making these masks out of some kind of adhesive paper or whatever to put on, so that they're not destroying the original mural, but B,
Cool.
they're putting on the mask literally, not drawing it on. And I thought that was wonderful. So when I get back, when I find some, I'll take pictures.
Oh, please. I love it.
Carol, I feel like I've gotten to know you so well. Jessica, it's a tribute to you that you bring together such wonderful people. And Zachary, you're becoming like, part of my family.
Oh,
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And
I'm gonna have to add another little bottle called Community or something.
oh, yes, that has to sit here next to Hope. Oh my God, of course.
I'm gonna make it a heart-shaped bottle. Just going full cheesy.
Oh, can I copy you?
Of course. Okay. Now time to.
So how moved in are you, and what's going on with your move?
I spent my first night in the new spot.
Hooray!
The first of the month. I thought it was an important symbolic act, and it really was, because it just made it real for me that I'm moving, because I'll still be back and forth quite a bit. I'm only, let's say 1/10 of the way moved in, maybe. But
How's your mom feeling about all this?
oh, she's taking it in stride. She's I think my parents have a funny combination of like, oh no, she's leaving, and oh, thank God she's leaving.
I didn't realize that your dad was still alive. You always talk about your mom.
Oh, yeah. No, Dad's running for Congress.
Tell us about your dad.
Well, yeah, his big thing right now is he's running for Texas House Representative in our state.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is. I'm very proud, obviously Democratic. Otherwise I wouldn't be
Yeah.
bragging about it. But oh my gosh, my dad, he is a restaurateur. He's
What does that mean?
he owns 2 restaurants.
I owned a restaurant for a while.
Oh, you did?
I mean, I was an investor. I wasn't.
Cool, yeah.
You didn't run it.
Owners, yeah.
Right.
What type of restaurant was it?
It was American. It was in the East Village. It was just too big. It was a destination place, and there were lots of little places around it. But we lasted 4 years. That was pretty good for New York.
Yeah, cool. It's a hard business, especially if you're starting from scratch.
Right.
So Dad, when I was in high school, he bought a restaurant. No, I was already in college. He bought a restaurant that was already very well established on the island. So that made things easier. It's called Shrimp and Stuff. And it's one of the most popular seafood restaurants on the island. And that's definitely his main thing, but he's he loves to travel. That's probably been the hardest thing for him and my mom. Is they used to go camping like once a month and go on cruises twice a year, and now he's home and just trying to make sure the restaurant gets by. And but he's a cool dude. I like him.
That's good to hear. I had to stand up. My back hurts sitting on the bed.
Oh yeah. All this moving has made me realize I gotta get back to my yoga. I'm not as spry as the last time I moved.
Well, I've been really good. I've been doing this half-hour video aerobics every morning and then taking an hour, hour and a half walk with my friend Carol every afternoon. And I feel so much healthier than I did even before the pandemic. I mean, I had a trainer then, but I'm doing much more work.
Yeah. Good for you.
I lost 5 pounds and I've kept them off, and I've been eating like a fiend.
Look at you. Nicely done.
Yeah. I need more words. Bad words.
Oh, I got a few. Despair.
Yeah?
Despair.
What?
Despair.
Oh,
Dismay.
yeah.
Disillusionment.
Oh.
Loathing.
Loathing.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Can you believe it? I'm thanking you for words like that. Wow.
I'm helping you express.
Yes.
I have to say, Zach, you're one of the most emotionally intelligent people I know.
Thank you, Jessica.
I think it's a musician thing for sure, right?
Could be. I mean, I think that, well, maybe, but I think to be a good artist, well, I can't speak on artists, but being a good actor, you have to really you have to know emotions, you have to navigate emotions, I think, and music is like another form of acting. You're just like, I don't know, it's obviously a little bit more abstract, but, you know, you have to
Performance.
feel.
Yeah.
Zach, I don't think that I don't think I was able to post it to
The Mighty Network.
yeah, thank you. But
group.
did I send you, Jessica, to send to Zach some of the video snippets from the memorial on August 24th?
I don't think I saw them.
Okay, so I don't think Mighty Network takes videos.
Oh, it has to be like a YouTube link, yeah.
So I'll send them to Jessica and she can send them out. It was there must have been 500 people sitting quietly in Washington Square, and about, I don't know, 25 musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just glorious. A beautiful starry night. It was just lovely.
I'm excited to see it. Thank you.
Was there anything near you?
Let me see.
That's the memorial for
Elijah McClain.
Sorry. Little noise, sorry.
Okay. There were in Chicago, good friends of mine were part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And here I think there were individual efforts. I know a guy who did a whole like improvised concert on a rooftop. It was really really nice. But I guess I didn't see anything that compares to it. That's kind of not great, actually, now that I think about it.
You know, that's something I'm interested in now that I'm moving to Houston. Is I'm sure those activist groups are there, but finding them and getting connected. Like a friend of mine was in New York for the past month or two, and he posted some videos of a march where there was a Houston contingent of activists who were, you know, talking specifically about Houston issues. And I was like, well, how do I get in touch with them? But maybe they were just up in New York.
No, I'm sure that I'm sure you can find them. You could
City.
what?
It's a big city. I'm sure there's.
It is, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to go home and do this really.
I do get really into drawing the bottles, and then like kind of like Carol was saying, there's when you start really making it specific to the emotion and like, yeah, is the top coming off? What color? Is it bubbling? Is there like little spritzels coming out of it?
Well, you know what's concerning to me, and this is related to the idea of black being bad and light being good, is that there's a tendency to paint hope and love and friendship in yellows and pinks and reds, and then paint despair and da-da-da-da-da in dark brown and black and gray. And I'm feeling that tension in me as can I make hopeful black?
A hopeful black, interesting.
I can't.
You can't.
No, I need the rainbow colors for the hopeful, and I need the dark colors because I think they are. I don't think they're black as in Black Lives. I think they're dark. They're like storms. So I need the stormy colors.
I think so too, Judith. And I mean, it's just so important because I know our daughter-in-law has a podcast called Waldorfy.com, and she was interviewing a couple of alums from the New York City Waldorf School. And one of the things that they're both young women, mentioned is that in so many of the fairy tales, the bad characters are dark colored, dark skinned. They're not just dark inside, but they're
yeah.
And I mean, we know in some fairy tales, of course, like Snow White's stepmother is stark white, and I mean, they're not all painted as dark, but there's a tendency to mistake or intermix the outer look and the inner character.
Absolutely. That's got a.
You ask really good questions, very thoughtful questions, Carol. I'm always challenged by your questions. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I'm still going to use rainbow colors for the.
Oh, me too, Judith.
But it was worth asking myself, why am I doing that, and what's the implications?
Well, it's been baked into our culture and the way that our psychology.
Yeah.
And sometimes on purpose to have this whole, to me, I find a lot of trouble with just what do you call it? How bipolar our thinking is, how divided, and it's either, black or white, right or left, you're either right or wrong. We've lost so much of the nuance and like the ability to even listen to each other because it's got to be this way or that way. There's the good guys or the bad guys, and it's not effective for
communicating
in the community.
That's another one in the hopeful bottle is communicating.
So you filling up your bottles with words?
Yes.
I've got words on my label, and then some words are popping out.
Yeah, me too.
It's been I haven't read many of them, but Maria Shriver, who's comes from a long stream of Democrats, and but she has reflected on the difference between things now. Somebody who's been in the thick of it, we can all reflect too, but we're not in the thick of politics the way she was and is. That in those early days, I mean, her father had friends who were Republicans. People mixed and mingled in social events and in the cafeteria in the Capitol building, and they you know, they respected each other even where they had differences, and that's what we're not seeing
Exactly.
today.
Well, that's the crux of it. That it's not, there is no respect anymore, um, and that's, you know, that's human decency.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it seems like in the past, I don't know, maybe this is naive and dumb, but I'm like, were people actually trying to just represent the people that
Right.
they stood for? Were they really like working for the people, or were they just working for their agendas? And maybe now they're just like so blatantly working for their agendas, they don't even care for this illusion of like, oh, we're just representing our constituents.
You know,
Yeah, our mega donors.
Mega donors.
I have this thought about the Republican congressional members, other than, you know, the Mitch McConnells who are just vile. Oh, that's a good word, vile.
Yeah.
Very appropriate for a jar thing, vile.
Yeah.
For jar thing, oh God.
Ha ha ha. But I think that I'm hopeful, to use that word, that that a good number of the Republicans are just don't believe in what the new Republicans appear to believe in, but are so afraid of being attacked that they don't have the spine to speak up. But when Biden gets in, and he always went across the aisle in the same way that McCain did, you know.
Yes, very true.
That maybe they'll get their spines back a bit because they won't be so afraid of being attacked. I mean, Trump's power to attack and ruin your life is amazing.
Yep, that's a hopeful perspective.
Yeah, I think that you're potentially right. I think it really just depends on if he gets reelected.
Well, we have to we just have to. We not only have to reelect, we have to elect Biden, but we have to flip the Senate, or he's not going to be able to do anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm spending all of my donation money not on Biden, but on the 6 states that I think we have a chance at flipping.
We're flipping Texas. That's what we're working on right now.
Yeah.
Yay. And I think there's a chance in Maine. I mean, Susan Collins has been taking a certain amount of flack, rightfully.
Yeah, she's one of the 6 that I'm supporting.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Amy McGrath has a chance? It looked like the polls were going down for her again.
No, I think that I'll know more after the debates, and then pour whatever money I can again in. But there are 6 of them. Cal, I'm really bad on names. So Maine and Colorado and Texas and I'm blanking. I can send you.
Is there hope to get rid of Lindsey Graham, South Carolina? Or is he pretty much?
Yeah.
Jamie Harrison running against him?
Yeah. I just started giving to Jamie Harrison. Oh, what time is it?
It is 10:51. Do y'all want to show off what you have so far? Anybody need to run today?
I have to teach a lesson in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here till 12.
I'm not sure. Mine's pencil, so I'm not sure it's going to show up. But
you have it all in one.
Oh, look at that! That's great.
Interesting. Very.
I love it.
Wow, all in one bottle.
Like a little ecosystem. I like that the courage is going up. That's so good.
It looks like a little town with the little. They look like rooftops. So the idea of the courage being in a community comes through, Zach.
That's cool.
I want to learn how to draw on a laptop someday, but I'm not ready.
I feel the same way.
It's definitely
So
more
here's, oh, are you doing yours, Judith?
Okay, I'll do mine. Let's see if I can do it. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Very nice. Yeah, that's going to be awesome with some color.
Yeah, when you do your coloring
Great
thing.
words.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to redo it. This is on a piece of typing paper my brother had.
Yeah, I'm stuck on September too.
So I had my
Sarah.
colored pencils to hand, and I put
Oh,
separate
Oh my
bottles.
God! Look at that.
Wow.
I think you
Oh
captured it.
wow!
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, that's
definitely
fabulous.
mine definitely popped their corks, both the positive and the negative, and I stole from Jessica's heart bottle.
Yay. Oh, you got me inspired now. I haven't added color yet to mine, but let me show y'all my bottles.
Oh
Ooh,
nice. Oh, they're gorgeous.
horror is a good word too.
Horror. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that tiny little
Beautiful
hope.
bottles.
This is my tiny little hope.
Oh,
Oh.
But yeah, I think the colors are where I'm feeling like I want to get expressive with the.
Yeah.
so we can put, when people have colored theirs, put them up so we can see them
Oh yeah.
on the site.
Yeah.
I find this so therapeutic. As someone who maybe it's sort of like I'm just thinking back to Zach, talking about how you express through music a lot of the time. I think I do get a lot of my emotions out when I use color specifically. Thinking back on it's just times I've gotten a lot of emotions out while painting. So that's what I'm looking forward to finishing this up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Everyone has to post them when they've done them. I won't be able to post them next weekend.
Next week, but
Yeah.
okay. Well,
That's
give
good.
love to Diane when you're in touch with her again, please.
Okay, and I'll keep you posted.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, so good to see you all again today.
Thanks, everybody.
Hugs.
Oh.
Okay.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.